So where we left off, Jackson as Samura, you had left the Yawning Portal with your former friend from Port Nyanzaru, Ikki, and left your new friends, Anya and Eartha, at the Yawning Portal in Waterdeep with Anya's friend Alistair and your friend Salu and their new friend Dila. And yeah, so you guys were flying through the night sky of Waterdeep towards the Hawkman statue. So again, huge, colossal, gargantuan statues, like maybe not quite as big, but like imagine like Statue of Liberty size, like huge in various states throughout the city. And this one, the Hawkman, is kind of upright, although slightly tilted, because one of its legs has been mined for stone, and one of its arms is damaged through mining as well, and the other arm is extended like that in like a stop motion, and its wings still furled on its back. The Hawkman statue very much resembles an Aarakocra, like yourself and Ikki, although this one appears to be modelled on the ones that live in the Star Mounts, much closer than where you are from, in Schult. In the Mist Cliffs, I think, is specifically where the Aarakocra mostly live in Schult. And yeah, kind of where we left off in the Yawning Portal was Eartha. You had a conversation with some strangers in the tank room of the Yawning Portal, and talked a bit with the tavern keeper Dernan. And then you found out a little later that one of the people you'd made acquaintance with was the Black Staff of Waterdeep, essentially like the Archmage, kind of the second in command, a very important figure in the city's kind of politics and just in general in the world, very influential figure. And you knew she had a past acquaintanceship, a work relationship with your brother. And yeah, and then you'd returned upstairs to where everyone else was sitting. And kind of joined in with Jade, I think was with you, and Alistair, Anya's friend from college, had kind of just scooched off to go and fetch some drinks. And yeah, so we'll pick up with Samura and Ikki. So Samura, you'd rolled pretty well on your stealth check, so the Griffin Cavalry didn't notice you're climbing up the side of the mountain, up Mount Waterdeep, following Ikki, kind of trying to stay out of sight until you got high enough where you were kind of above most of the Griffin cavalrymen, and you kind of just flew over them, because, you know, mostly they're looking down or in front, not so much looking up from their position, and you kind of flew over them and to the Hawkman statue where Ikki had landed, kind of. If the statue is doing this, she kind of landed like along the forearm here. Do you land close by?
Yeah, I'll land just like next door.
Yep. So you both take roost on the I think it is the left arm. Yes, the left arm, which is extended out in this stop motion. And yeah, she kind of like, as soon as she lands, she kind of just like folds one leg and sits down cross-legged for a minute until she kind of like takes one leg out and hangs it over the side, and then another, until she's just kind of sitting like with her legs dangling over Waterdeep beneath you. And now that it's getting quite dark, it's not super dark yet. It's probably like there's kind of a tinge of orange still on the horizon, but it's also quite a cloudy night, and there's a lot of dark purples and blues dancing above you, and the stars are pretty much visible between the clouds. But even still, kind of Waterdeep below you has roared to life with lights and lanterns flickering on in houses and on streets. And you can also see a little bit north of you, you can see the party starting. Tonight is Guild's Meet, a big holiday, one of the nights of Walking Tide here in Waterdeep, and you can see that party starting. And as it kind of gets a little bit darker and you start landing, you hear as fireworks start going off and colour reigns over you and Nikki in this high up position. And you can see that big party seems to be in the open parts of the city that are quite clustered together, pretty dominantly in the big market, the open market area, and the Fields of Triumph, which you'd probably have heard of and know that they're kind of where events are held, like tournaments and races and jousts and arena challenges and things like that. And in the streets between, you can see lights and games all down there and big crowds of people gathering together. Icky just kind of gives you a quick glance before she kind of looks down at everything that's happening below you. She's quiet for a bit, unless there's anything you'd like to say.
I'd probably just ask her, any reason you brought us up here?
She kind of twitches her back. Ooh, voice. Her back kind of straightens. That's what you do when you gotta do bird voices all fucking week. Her back kind of straightens up and she slouches again very quickly as her neck kind of cranes in a few different positions. I saw the statue when we were entering the city. I thought it would be quiet.
Well, you're definitely not wrong about that. Except for fireworks, but that's
She kind of She glances off, more looking upwards now as more light up the sky a bit ahead of you. You can see most of the fireworks are coming from the market and the Fields of Triumph, but there are other places in the city, maybe people who can't go to the actual celebration but they still want to be involved, and from every once in a while further south you see a few more fireworks going off in other parts of the city. So, what? Tell me about Adirondacks. How did that go?
A lot more weirdly than I expected. I'd been chasing him for so long, he'd never answered any of my sendings. I'd just presumed that for all this time he didn't want anything to do with me. I was just some sort of letdown. But when I finally got to him, it was quite the opposite, but also quite the same. He revealed quite a few things. I'm not normal, which, I mean, I guess the magic explains that, but my egg was dormant for about 100 years before I was born. I'm only alive because he used his magic to make it so. The reason he never responded is because, I have no way of snapping my fingers to make Abba appear because it takes too long, but I'll just kind of gesture.
You can flavor it, yeah.
Yeah, gesture, just wherever Abba would normally be. Just on whichever shoulder he typically is on and go, And the reason he never responded is because he can see through the eyes of Abba. So he's just been watching the whole time.
She kind of looks away quickly, just looking off at the fireworks. She'd been looking at you while you were talking, and she just kind of looks off again. I suppose he's not all bad. Where is he now?
I think he's trying to, I left a little bit out. He used to be an ancient blue dragon. Magic, as dragons can, they can polymorph themselves into whatever they like, human per se. Which then he got trapped in with this collar he has on his neck. I'm sure you've seen it. And,
there were always rumors about him. I didn't hear most of them personally. I very rarely was in where people lived. But Selu had told me there were rumors about Adirondacks. People found him strange.
And he's in a weird place. blue dragons are quite evil, but being a human for so long has kind of turned his mind away from it. So it's a tricky one. Return to his true form, but turn evil again, or stick as who he is. And I'm not sure he's figured out what he wants yet.
Well, let's hope he makes whatever decision is right by himself, by you. I'm glad you found him, at least. Seems like you went very far to do that.
Yeah, halfway across the world.
Further than we went. We just boarded the first. After you were gone, I found Salu, and we had no idea which boat you got on, so we just got on the first one and hoped it was heading in the same location. It wasn't. But everything worked out.
I know it sounds like and it looks like I left it a while to contact you, but I mean, firstly, just because I wasn't capable of it beforehand in the magical sense, but I had tried sending a letter. I sent it to Salu's house to hand to you, but when a friend back in Baldur's Gate, Riverland, went, Salu's dad had told him that you and Salu were already gone.
I think we left the morning after you were gone, so that makes sense. Well, thank you for trying. As she's kind of lingering on you, you hear a da-ding, 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 da-ding. You hear the sound of a bell being rung, and it almost seems to magically travel up towards you. You get the sense it is somehow magically maybe being angled towards the statue, although you're not sure for why.
Do I have any inclination whether we've been spotted, so to speak?
Make a perception check based on sight.
Jackson going to prison.
13.
You can see the person ringing the bell. You can't make out much. You can't see the person, but you can see where the sound is coming from. You can see the statue's hand, like the left hand that goes out. It's right above a courtyard, way down in the city below. So like the left hand, the open palm, is right above an open courtyard, way below you. You can see there is a bell in that courtyard, and as you kind of watch what's happening, you see something like a ladder unfurl and fall from the hand all the way down to the city below you. And you see a person at the bottom begin to climb.
Can I...
All of this takes a little while. It's probably about a minute before you see the ladder fall from the palm of the hand. You haven't seen the palm of the hand. You don't know what's there. Your angle is like this because you're like here, so you can't see the palm of the hand. So it takes about a minute until you imagine the bell rung, and then very slowly the sound was magically propelled upwards. So like between the individual ringing the bell and them even being like halfway up the rope ladder, it's probably about like 5 minutes. So you've got plenty of time to do whatever you want here.
I'll just turn to Icky and go, well, I guess that they could know it, yeah. Well, they could not, but probably it's best to be moved just in case.
She kind of squints and kind of scoots back onto the bulk of the arm and kind of walks forward towards the back of the hand a bit, and kind of squints down. I don't know. He looks pretty old. I don't think he'd be much of a threat.
Yeah, but fight an old man in a busy city, you've got the Griffin Cavalry and the Guard to deal with. It's not a fight I'm keen on taking.
Where would you want to go?
Oh, I mean, most of the people are just around the market now, so I guess we can go around the normal streets for a walk and a chat. I'm sure there won't be many. Oh, actually, I have a house we could go to if you want to have a chat.
She goes, shh, shh. And she kind of motions you over.
I'll walk in.
You kind of walk over to, so she's standing like here, right near the wrist, and you approach as well. You can hear talking. You get the sense that from on the open palm, there is actually a tunnel carved throughout the arm that goes like inside. So like the palm is like a cave, and a tunnel goes inside the arm. You hear as someone says, "You're 5 minutes late. She's been waiting for you." And you hear a familiar voice say, "I was held back. There was unexpected trouble." You recognize it as Anya's professor, Professor Barnes.
Cool.
Icky
Ow.
kind of says, do you think people live in here? That's very cool." But yeah, she's not really talking, she's just kind of commenting. What were you saying?
Do I have any... Can I just dip my... Once I hear them enter, I'll dip my head over just to have a quick peek at what the situation is on the other side of the palm, on like the outer side of the palm.
The arm itself and everything, it's quite big, so even like clambering up in between two of the fingers and like trying to lower yourself, you probably wouldn't be able to get a very good view. But obviously you have wings or maybe even rope. You could try and lower yourself with rope or kind of use your flight abilities to kind of come around the side and like try and grab on and peek in if you'd like.
Right. I'll Oh. Oh. Guys.
I don't like this.
Can I do something dumb?
Do you ever do anything different?
I want to disguise as Anya's friend and just walk on in, but you know,
Anya's friend?
You're on your own.
the one at the tavern.
Alistair.
Yeah, just kind of like disguise self and then land on the ladder, but like not too far off the top, and then just climb up.
Sure. I will say, you can probably see the ladder is being pulled back up currently.
Pulled up from the bottom, though, isn't it?
Where it's pulled up from the top.
Yeah, but like the bottom comes up first.
Yes, so you could
Yeah.
fly down. You think you might have to do some cheesing to be like, what, you didn't feel me on there?
Yeah.
But you don't think it's impossible. You think like, you know, Alistair isn't particularly heavy. You think you could maybe sell it, maybe like, wow, you're so strong. Wow, you didn't even feel me.
I'll give it a go.
So, are you saying anything to Icky, or are you taking off?
I'll send Icky. Stay here, but I may need you to save me if it goes south.
Okay, what's going on?
I'll explain later. Just stay here. Be ready. And
Okay.
I'll jump down, basically.
So you take flight, cast Disguise Self, and grab onto the bottom of the ladder. Do you want to go like just beneath the hand, or do you want to go like right to the bottom of the ladder?
I want to go like maybe 20 seconds off the top.
Okay, sure. So yeah, you take flight as Samura, cast Disguise Self, so you appear as Anya's friend Alistair from the Yawning Portal. You're still capable of flight, it's just like...
Yeah.
It's just invisible, like the illusion covers it. And you kind of... I'm gonna say... probably a sleight of hand check, just to see, like... So, like, it doesn't suddenly become very visible that you're like, whew, that there's suddenly like weight
Yeah.
being added to the ladder. So make a sleight of hand check. Just a straight sleight of hand check, no advantage, no disadvantage.
Oh, it's a 16 plus, and I think I've got a plus 4. Yeah, unnatural 20.
Nice. So yeah, you feel pretty confident. You kind of slowed down at the gap, and you kind of waited until there was another, like, you get the sense it's like being winched somewhat, but then there's also, to speed up the process, someone's also kind of pulling as well. And you kind of wait until there's one of those tugs going, and you kind of grab on, not trying to swing it too much. And you feel pretty confident that you've hidden your grabbing. Are you doing anything else, or are you just waiting until you're visible?
I'll like start climbing up. Now I'm on, but at the very next, like at the first tug where I feel like I'm within their range of like hearing, I'll go. I'm still on the rope, and like say it like, stop pulling. I need to get up. Like,
Okay.
just like it's not dangerous.
I'll say, just before you do that, make a perception check based on hearing.
That's a 14.
14. So just a few seconds before you go ahead and do that, and that doesn't change that, just to give you a little bit more to go on. You hear who you imagine is kind of like a doorman, a god of some kind who probably operates the ladder, the winch, talking with Professor Barnes. He says, she's staying she's renting the left shoulder suite. And Professor Barnes says, very well. And then would you like to shout just after? Would you like to shout while Barnes is still there, or after you feel like he's left?
I'll shout while Barnes is still there, and I'll shout like, Professor, wait, I need to talk to you.
You hear, he goes, who is that? Pull that up. And the guard, like, kind of begins winching a little bit quicker. And you see the guard's head also, like, pokes over the side. And as he pulls you up, he kind of kind of forearm grab and pulls you up. And the guard says, I wasn't told there'd be two of you. And Professor Barnes says, Alistair, what are you doing in Waterdeep?
I just got back with my crew. I needed some advice on my writing, my song.
Why are you coming to me?
Anya always speaks highly of you.
Yes, but Anya and I are violinists. You're a lutist.
I know, but I wanted to co-work with Anya. I got back in the city and I thought it'd be a good idea.
Make a persuasion check with advantage. That's a pretty good excuse.
I got 17 plus whatever my persuasion is. A 21! It's going well.
Okay. So I'm gonna roll insight. What is his insight? Okay, he has a +2. He got 60. What did you get, sorry?
I got 21.
No, sorry, he got 90, but you still beat him out. I see. Well, have you spoken with Anya? Why are you here? How did you find me?
I saw the ladder and I saw you jumping on. I was just hoping, do you know where Anya is? If there was any way you could help me find her?
I have no idea. I spoke with her briefly this morning.
So she's in the city? Like, surprisingly.
Yes. As far as I'm aware, Anya Enderon is still in Waterdeep. I don't know how long for or where, but you are a bard and quite capable of contacting her yourself.
Yes, I'm sorry, just one more thing. Do you know, what would your advice on style be for our mixing?
He kind of like rubs his forehead. I'm sorry, is this for something in your personal time, or is this for a school project?
Well, it's more personal now, but we wanted to demonstrate it, and whatever, that hallway, that big hallway, the big hallway tunnel going towards the school.
Oh, Mount Melody Walk.
Yeah, I was like, we really wanted to make something we could showcase at Mount Melody Walk.
He kind of, a polite chuckle. He's like, Alistair, you are both fine bards, but I don't think you're quite ready for Mount Melody Walk just yet. A few more years and you'll be all right. Now I really must. I have a business meeting.
Oh, who with? If you don't mind me asking.
A guest lecturer.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yes?
I'll just get ready. I'll just be like, my apologies. I'll stop interrupting you, and I'll go to leave.
Then he kind of looks at the door guard and he's like, my apologies for the unexpected visitor. I know here at Spront Tower you take security very seriously. My apologies. If you would please lower the ladder, and my student will be leaving now. Thank you. And good night, Alistair. I'll see you when I see you. And he begins to walk down the arm.
I'll just shout, "Good night, Professor!" Just really joyfully.
Sure, yeah. As once the professor kind of begins to get 40 feet plus away, the guard kind of sits down in his chair, and you can see the winch is just automatically slowly turning down. He's like, it'll probably be a few minutes before the ladder's at the bottom.
Okay. And I'll just wait for it. Actually, I'll still talk with the guard.
He just kind of starts whistling, but you can talk if you like.
Do you know who he's going in to talk to?
He kind of looks down the arm. He said a guest lecturer.
I didn't know if you knew her name or anything. I don't know. I've never stayed here. I don't know how it works.
Well, I think he said he's going for a meeting, but I think he's got two, as far as I'm aware. There were two people that were expecting him.
Oh, okay. Is there like a name list of whoever's staying? I'm sure it's not public. I'm just curious.
Make a persuasion check.
22.
Oh, right, finally rolling well. Well, there was this really serious dwarf lady who told me to expect him, but there was this other guy as well. He seemed a bit weird, a bit reclusive. I think that's the guest lecturer he meant. I don't think he was talking about the woman.
I'll say it outwardly, but kind of not even looking at him, just saying it as if to while trying to psychologically nudge it out of him, but not even speaking it to him so that he isn't suspicious of me. I'll just say outwards, "Oh, I really wonder what their names are."
Make a persuasion check with disadvantage.
Oh. What's the plus? It's a 13, so... Oh wait, no, I have inspiration! Can I oh, but it doesn't... That would just make it the normal one, wouldn't it?
How many inspiration you got?
I got 4, but how does it work when I use it with disadvantage?
I'll say you just...
Take the higher roll, or...
Yeah, I'll say it overrides your lowest roll. You kind of take the middle roll if you rolled even lower, or you take that one if it's higher than your lowest.
Right. So just roll again, and basically,
yeah.
As long as it's okay. That was even lower, so I'm just gonna use another inspiration because I really want this.
Go.
Okay, another one.
I donate inspiration.
Another one. Okay, yeah, 19. That's fine. 19 total. It took all
Okay.
4, but you know.
Okay. The guy kind of rubs his face and kind of pats down at the floor for his flask, his water flask. Kind of. I don't really listen to names. Get too many people coming through to keep track of it. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely don't know the woman's name. She was a dwarf. She said she had an appointment with him at... He kind of like looks out and he's like, I guess probably about 7-ish. And then the other fella, he said he was up for a job at the college. He said he was doing a guest lecturing series as a trial run. I don't know what college. I think it's the Bardic College up in the mountain. Said he was an expert in blade singing, and that he was up for a job there. You're like a fucking gopher. You're like,
Oh no.
Oh, fuck.
so I don't know. I don't know the names, but they both seem like they had sticks shoved up their arse.
Oh, I've been hearing about this guy called Faust. He used to work at the cathedral. It might
In the city?
No, the Red Knights Cathedral. It's out from Baldur's Gate. He was a renowned blade singer. It might be him.
Could do. Not a lot of them, I guess, but more than one.
Did you get a look at his face? Was he elven?
I mean, yeah, but they all are.
Cool. Alright, is the ladder down? Because I need to leave.
Sure. Probably about now. You can see the ladder. He kind of looks down. He's like, you hear, da-ding, 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 da-ding. Come up. All right, you're good to go. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too.
You see, he kind of. Oh wait, I was about to say.
Him a piece of gold.
Yeah, he kind of kicks a thing on the floor, like a little tray with some coins in it. But before his foot even reaches it, you kind of flick a coin and he kind of catches it, and he's like, "Oh, cool. Yeah, have a very good night." And he chucks it into the can.
Yeah, I'll slide down the ladder, but I'll slide down like ungodly speed for a human. But just because I'm a bird, I can flap my wings.
Sure. Yeah. So I think.
Oh, can I do one thing actually? Can I?
Oh.
Can I go back to just before I drop down?
Yeah.
I'll point my fingers at where Icky is.
You can, yeah. She's not hidden. You can actually see her kind of like clinging off one of the fingers, kind of looking down, waiting for you. So you can very clearly see her.
Yeah, I'll point my. I'll be looking at the guy while my hand's pointed upwards. And I'll cast message as long as it isn't going to ruin me. I'm pretty sure.
I think you do have to speak it out loud, but you can do that when you're a bit down.
I'm okay with it speaking aloud. It's the somatic and material bit which gets me. So I'll
allow
just
it.
A little bit.
I'll allow it. You've got one hand for it. I'll allow it.
Just be pointing at the hand, and I go. The hand really puts into perspective how big the statue is. But I guess it's time to go, and I'll go down the ladder.
Oh. The guard goes like, "All right." And yeah, you kind of see Icky kind of like poke out a bit and begin to like look like she's kind of scaling down a bit and looking for a safer exit. Cool. So we'll cut from there over to the yawning portal. So I believe everyone at the little table. So the yawning portal, as the night's been going on, you're about 7 o'clock, like 6:45, 7 o'clock right now. It's steadily gotten more busy. It's definitely like one of, if not probably the most important, busy, popular tavern in in Waterdeep. Maybe even in like the Sword Coast in Faerun, in like on the continent. Maybe even in the world. Although you know very little about other continents. And yeah, so I believe Alistair had kind of just shot off to get some more drinks. So I think everyone who's currently at your table up on the second or third floor, one of the upper floors that has kind of like this open balcony in the center where you can look down into the depths, the actual yawning portal that goes down into Undermountain, this big, the former base of a tower, but the tower's just been chopped off, and a tavern built around it. Yes, I think everyone at the table, I think it's Eartha, Anya, Jade, Dealer, and Selu. So Anya, Eartha, is there anything you'd like to talk to anyone about, or are you just kind of like idly chatting, blah blah blah?
Idly chatting.
Cool. Yeah. You see, actually, could you both make a perception check?
25.
25?
25.
Was it not good, Jess?
I got 2.
Oh, sick, yeah. Best roll. 25. Okay. So, Anya, you're kind of busy talking with Jade. Very one-sided conversation. So, Eartha, you notice that Dealer, this barbarian from one of the Uthgard tribes that Selu, Icky, and Alistair has been travelling with, you can see she has a pamphlet for the Guild's Meet festivities that are currently going on, kind of just warming up in the further north in the city. And you can see she looks like she wants to go. You get the sense she's just kind of waiting for like Alistair to come back, and then she's going to be like, okay, we should get going. We should go here. She kind of keeps like, she'll put it down and then she'll like pick it up and kind of look at it a bit and then fold it up and then put it down. And then a few seconds later, she'll get it back out and kind of tap it on the table a bit. Yeah, you notice that. And if there's nothing else you guys would like to do, about 5 minutes later, Alistair returns with some drinks, one for himself and one for Dealer, 2 Shadow Dark ales, puts one in front of her, and she kind of very quickly like chugs it down, and slams the metal tankard with the Yawning Portal's insignia back on the table, and she goes, "Oh, Alistair, you said it would be prudent if we went to the festivities tonight, and I don't want to miss anything, so I think we should probably leave soon." And Alistair kind of like hasn't even like took his first sip yet, and he's like, "Yes, yeah, Guild's Meet is lots of fun. We should definitely go. I mean, it's not even 7 yet. It really gets good at 7:30. Although I suppose we have to get there. Anya, Eartha, would you guys like to? I don't know where Icky and Samura have gone off to, but they have wings. I'm sure they'll be fine. Would you like to come with us to the festivities?"
Sure.
I'm gonna look at Jade and go, "What do you think?"
You see Jade.
I'm really.
Jade leans at like one elbow on the table. She kind of leans in. She puts a hand on the mix.
Can't do that.
She kind of leans back, and she just kind of like, cool guy, leans back on the table.
I'll look at Alice and go, "Yeah, we can go."
Okay, well, I will. And then Dealer kind of begins to get up, and Alistair's like, "I will finish my drink, and then we will go." He kind of takes a drink. Some froth kind of gets spread over his upper lip. Have you ever been in Waterdeep before, Eartha? Have you ever been to Guild's Meet?
I was here for a day. Never came. Actually, I wasn't even here for a day. It was for a night. Didn't stay for the meet though.
Well, you're going to love it. You seem like a very martial fellow. You seem like you good at throwing things, good at shooting things. There's plenty of games I'm sure you'll get a kick out of. Plenty prizes to be won if you've got the coin. I myself have never been very good at most of them. But maybe we should all give everything a go. And Dila kind of looks at you, Eartha, and she goes, "They have axe throwing contest. I plan to win."
But they've ever done axe throwing. Spears and javelins, but axes are a bit different.
I wouldn't bother. I will win. You will waste your coin.
What makes you think you'll win? Out of curiosity.
You just said you have never thrown axe in your life. I have been throwing axe to hunt living things since I was a girl.
And up to 2 days ago, I've never shot a gun, and now I'm using it to kill people, so...
I could cut your gun in half with my axe, so...
Yeah, that's probably true.
We should get going, Alistair. And Alistair's like barely any further in his drink. And he's like, you know, they have a drinking contest, so maybe I shouldn't get too buzzed before we get there. So, and he just kind of puts it down on the table. Okay, Dila, come on, let's go. And he kind of scoots over Jade again. Jade doesn't move, blocking a bit, and he kind of just awkwardly wriggles over her armored form. And he's like, okay, we should head to the market or the Sinishore. We'll go to the market first, then maybe the Field of Triad. Market's the closest. We'll go to the market first, and we'll go from there. Cool, come on. And he kind of slaps Jade's shoulder, and Jade just kind of like swivels with one hand on the mace, and he just kind of like pulls his sleeve down and polishes where he scuffed the armor a bit, and like lightly taps, and it's like, okay. And Dila quickly follows, and if you guys like, you can follow suit as well.
Yes, I would then like to cast Sending.
Sure.
Actually, how long would this mess up Jackson's thing?
We can say you cast it on the way, because it'll probably take about 45 minutes to walk there. So you can cast Sending, and it'll arrive to Jackson when we cut back.
Right. Well, I'm just gonna say like, sup, bitch. Going to the festival. Gonna try win some games and contests. Meet us there once you've finished with her, and that's it, because I'm out of words.
Sure.
No, there's going to be more, but I'm just going to make it feel as though it just cut off.
So we'll cut back with an Alistair-shaped samurai descending the rope ladder into Spurwood Tower inside the Hawkman, and you receive that sending message.
Can I reply back instantly? Like the second his cuts out, as if I've been counting the words to like on the dots. It counts. Say back.
Sure, your brain.
No. We're going to stop Barn, the professor, whatever his name is. We have better things to do. Meet me here.
Well, where's here?
Okay, meet me. Right, he understands the message, so he understands where here is.
I don't know if that's how that works.
Oh, I can change it, because I was just speaking on the dot.
Sure. We'll say you understand. He says Spront Tower at the foot of the Hawkman, or whatever you intend. And yes. So, are you and Icky just waiting at the courtyard at the foot of the Hawkman, or?
Yeah, just... Can we like double check to make sure that we aren't somewhere we're not meant to be, and if we are, we'll go somewhere where the public's allowed.
You see a lot of people down here. You get the sense that maybe had it not been Guildsmeet, and there weren't a lot of people moving through this area to go towards the bigger party further north in the market, you see another door guard dressed similarly to the one you'd seen up top. Probably the guy who rings the bell. You get the sense he might question you lingering if it wasn't such a busy night anyway. So you get the sense you're fine to like hang around.
All right, yeah, we'll just wait.
Cool. Cool. So we'll say you guys rendezvous at the foot of the Hawkman. and we'll take a break there. So you guys are rendezvousing at the courtyard underneath the Hawkman's open palm at the entrance to Speront Tower. So probably the amount of time, between like public transport where it's available, because it's a very busy night, and just walking for the bulk of you, for everyone except Samara and Icky, it's going to take about like half an hour, 45 minutes to get there. Probably closer to half an hour, to be honest. And obviously, Icky just very slowly descends down the side of the Hawkman, kind of dipping to vantage point to stay out of sight of the Griffin cavalry. But everyone's pretty distracted. There's still plenty of fireworks, greens, reds, blues, mostly blues and golds, but some other colours thrown in there as well. Still going off all around you. The city is alight with fireworks. As the night gets darker and darker, as you get on to about, by the time the rest of you arrive at the Hawkman statue, it's probably about 7:20, 7:25, not quite half past, but definitely past 7. We're probably like into nighttime now. It's a bit of a cloudy night, plenty of clouds, but it's a very starry night as well in between those clouds, and the fireworks just kind of paint the clouds and the statues and the mountain and the ocean and the cityscape in these colours as the fireworks continue. And they seem there's little lulls, like a few minutes without them, and then they all suddenly come on again for 10-20 minutes or so, and then they die out again, and with the occasional off in the distance, but for the most part it's pretty consistently been happening for the last hour or so. Samurai, you're with Icky, and you see these guys approaching at the back of a crowd who are heading towards the party, the festivities.
Yeah, I'll just say to them. I'll say to them in a group, but kind of like directing it more to Urfa and Anya. Also, like trying not to let other people hear so much. Anya, I found your professor at the top of where the hand is. Seems to be an entrance inside. He's going for a meeting with 2 people. One sounded too much like our good old friend Forst.
Your good old friend.
Well, that's true. And the other was a dwarven lady. I've actually forgotten what they're called. The
dwarf?
No, the subclass of Forst. Blade Slingers, is that it?
Blade Slinger, yeah.
A blade singer and a dwarf, and it really sounded like Forst. He's got meetings. I think he's going in for one now. The next one's at 7:30. He was going in for one when you sent in to me. I was coming down the ladder. I just finished the conversation. Might be finished. It could be a real pivotal moment in what we're doing, but I don't know how we do it if we are going to try and do something.
I mean, realistically, with the devil being around, we don't have to do shit about it. Because there's nothing saying that he's going to harm us. We could just leave it be. But then again, Anya's professor might be a bit fucked if he doesn't complete it. So letting him complete it and then leaving it be might just be the better way about it. Forced, however, that's a different story.
Well, if we're gonna go deal with Forst, then I think we have to deal with Professor. I mean, if he's... I'm sorry to say this, Anya, but if he's willing to betray an entire college, clearly he's got some faults of his own, even if they are deeply rooted in traumatic issues.
Well,
yeah.
We don't know yet. We don't know what's being held against him just yet, so...
and I turn. Oh, and then I'll go. I am. Obviously, I couldn't talk to him, so I had to disguise myself as Alice, you, Alistair. So if he asks, you were just talking to him.
Are you
And
still
also,
disguised as Alistair, or are you back to yourself?
I'm still disguised as Alistair. 'Cause it'll be funny.
Alistair
And
just kind of says,
also,
I thought you looked better than the last time I met you.
That's just disappointing, that one.
and you were talking to him about if he knew Anya was within the city because you and her wanted to you wanted to see if she would make a joint piece for the two of you to play in that big stupid hallway going up to the college.
Okay. Sure. I mean, they never let us play in Mount Melody Walk. No way. But
Yeah, I got the interpretation that he thought you were kind of shit.
he's not my teacher, so he doesn't really know me. So like, it doesn't like he's a violinist, and
Yeah, but like
I'm a lutist. So
it was just really weird because like usually like a professor would be like, "Oh, you're not ready yet," but he looked at me when I said it and he was like, "You are years off that." He was really adamant about it.
Dealer, the barbarian lady, kind of leans in, and she's like, I am very happy you found your friends, but we are missing the festivities. Perhaps we can talk on the way to the party.
Do you want me to send in Force and see if he's in the sea?
No, because why would he answer?
Well, if he's not, he'd answer. If he's in the middle of a meeting, he'll look a bit stupid answering.
Send him saying you're in Luskin. And I think we should go at the party because I don't think there's anything we can do here tonight because there's no way we can get anybody except me and Icky up that ladder without them knowing.
True.
And we can't fight the whole city, so I think it's impossible for us to go at it.
I am going to send in Forced.
Okay. What would you like to say?
Hey, buddy. Just passing through Luskin. Knew you were here. Want to catch up. This is such a bad idea.
Make an Arcana check.
That's not good. That's better. 19.
As you do is it verbal somatic material?
Sending is.
I've got it pulled up in front of me. I don't know why I'm being an
I've
idiot.
got the card right here. Send in
Okay,
verbal somatic material, a short piece of fine copper wire as the material.
So you've got your spellcasting focus. You don't need the material. So you grab your amulet of the Red Knight, and you kind of do the hand movement with one hand, the somatic part of the spell, and you begin to speak the words that you're spending to force. New sensation. It's very typically the same. You kind of get the same sensation every time you cast sending. It's almost like you're on like a texting app, and it'll have a little tick saying read. You feel the message. You know when you send an email and you get like a response that's like, this email does not exist? You feel the message did not land.
So he's either in a lead-lined room, or actually, is that a thing with sending?
Or he could be interdimensional. Or he could be dead. That's the three options.
You send across messages any distance and even to other planes. But if the target is on a different plane than you, there is a 5% chance the message doesn't arrive. I think I've got a roll for that, but I'll do that.
Dead or interplanetary, like dead or interdimensional or interplanetary.
Well, no, because we didn't even roll to see if we got it through. Like, I have to roll.
You don't. Brad could have rolled it.
Let
But
me
probably might be dead.
I'm banking on he's dead or in some form of like anti-magic area.
Yeah, that's another way of doing it.
I think he's dead. I think that would be too easy.
It would be far too easy.
Yeah, that's true.
Um,
To the party.
do we still have
Nothing else really we
sending
can do?
stones out of curiosity?
Me and you do to each
I
other.
think we got rid of it.
I think we do.
I think you do. Pretty sure you do.
Hmm.
Or didn't you?
I think we gave them to someone.
Didn't you give one to Ramas? Isn't that how you've been talking with Ramas?
I've just been casting send. I don't remember. I might have given it to him, and I don't remember.
I
don't
feel
have
like
it
you
written
kept
anywhere.
one and gave one to another person.
I think we
But
gave both of them away because I don't have the stone like in my inventory at all, and I've written everything down. Do you?
I
Have
don't
it?
remember.
Well,
Let's see if I've rubbed it out.
it is what it is.
No, I never had it. Oh well.
Yeah, I'm
We
not
can't
sure.
We can't do anything today.
We really can't. That's we're kind of in a pickle. So
We
I'll
just
tell them.
gotta...
Tried messaging him, didn't receive. So he's either dead, too far away, he's in like 100 planes away, or actually it'd be about 50 planes away. Is it 50 planes?
I think it's just a 5% chance if he's not on the same plane.
Yeah.
It's
Be
either a 5%
one plane
chance it
away.
just didn't send, but I didn't feel that bit. Or he's somewhere that messages generally can't be received, which is weird. Or here's another theory that I've just come up with now. He's completely changed himself to the point where he doesn't remember who he is, so I am no longer familiar with that person because the person forced does no longer exist. He's now some other person.
Wow, that's deep.
No,
He found himself.
no, he's someone like cracked his head open and he forgot everything. He's just a new person starting life anew. Not even a blade singer.
Okay. Well, I've got one suggestion.
We forget about it and move on.
Let's go throw some axes.
How do you know we're doing that?
Heard it in passing. Somebody was walking by saying, I really like the axe throwing. I did it last year.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so you guys are heading into the... So there's kind of three areas where the guilds meet. Festivities are mainly being held. There are little like street parties and people with fireworks in their yards all over the city. But most of the festivities are in the market square, the Field of Triumph, and the Cynosure, which is like this former like. So I told you I've mentioned it a few times. When all the gods were cast down in the time of troubles, that whole thing was kind of fixed in Waterdeep when Ao, kind of all the gods' dad, showed up and was like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. And that was the first time in history that mortals had ever seen Ao, way up in the sky on top of Mount Waterdeep. So after that was happened, a lot of mortals were like, oh, he's the god of gods, we're going to worship that guy. And so for a while, there were clerics of Ao, and they didn't have any powers, because Ao doesn't give a shit. He doesn't give any of his clerics powers. He's the only god, as far as mortals are aware, that their power is not based on how many followers they have. They are just completely omnipotent. They don't need to have followers. They don't seem to want followers. And yeah, so the Cynosure was kind of the church of Ao, the overgod. And over like the last 100 years plus, it's just kind of fallen out of use and it's just become like a pavilion because Ao wasn't doing shit for anyone. So people stopped worshipping him. Yeah. So what kind of stuff are you guys wanting to? Are you guys all wanting to do games, or are some of you just wanting to like look around and like kind of have fun, get some street food and stuff like that, or would you guys all like to seek out some games?
I'll go games.
I'm going on a date. I'm gonna go
Nice.
off in the two.
With me?
Nope.
Oh.
Shut down.
I'll probably just have a look around. I'll go explore.
Sure. So, Eartha, after so I'll give you guys kind of like an overview, like 20 minutes of walking around, and this is what each of you pick up based on what you just told me. Eartha, these are the games you can engage with, and there is a prize for each of them if you win. If you want to go up to the stands, to the games and ask, you can. There is axe throwing, there is a piggyback race, there is a drinking contest, an animal show, and archery.
How many
You can enter your own animal.
You can enter all of them. The animal show is one. At the end of the night, there's going to be an animal show. Or like not at the end of the night, but there is just one animal show where people enter their animals tonight. You can't do that multiple times, but everything else, you can get multiple tries at. But something like the drinking contest is going to get harder the more times you try it.
I think I'm going to do that one last.
Yeah, because you don't want to be inebriated for the axe throwing. Sure.
Oh, I'll do.
Probably do it first.
I'll do. Hang on, what were they? There was axe throwing, bows, drinking, and then the animal show. There were 4, right?
Axe throwing, piggyback race, drinking contest, animal show, and archery. There are 5.
Piggyback race.
So one rule for the piggyback race is it obviously requires 2 people in one team, and the person carrying has to have a higher strength than the person riding.
You should totally pick Dealer.
Jackson, out of curiosity, what's Jade's strength?
High, I think.
Oh wait, I've got pretty high strength. What have
It's
I got?
14.
Oh wow.
Jade has awful stats. 1 minute, I'll 14 strength, 12 dex, 16 con, 1 free 1.
Jesus. Wow.
She's got really high health and really good abilities.
Yeah, I'm stronger than Jade, so that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, she does weigh 2 ton.
Just 18 strength. Well, screw the piggyback race. Unless someone comes and asks me. I won't do that one.
Well, do you want to know the prizes for them?
Yeah, sure.
Axe throwing. Winners of the axe throwing get a goldfish and a bowl. Piggyback race. Winners get boots of speed, the magic item. Drinking contest. Winners get a tankard of sobriety, which means you can drink as much alcohol from it, and you will never get so drunk you can't function. Winners of the animal show, they get a plush toy. They get a plush displacer beast, which you guys fought in the mist-shrouded city ruins. The panther with the tentacles on its back. And winners of the archery get a set of 5 unbreakable arrows.
I kind of want to do the piggyback race, but then I don't at the same time.
I mean, they're not expensive.
Yeah, I mean, you should be doing all of them.
But I need someone to do the piggyback race with.
It's almost like there's 3 other people with you.
No, I mean,
she'll be
there's you 2, and then there's 5 other people with in the other group. So you've got a lot of options. I mean, you're not all together, but you can find people, or you can ask a stranger if you want.
Also,
can I find a hard?
Also, Eartha, you could be on the bottom.
Oh yeah, I'm quite strong. I'd be a bottom boy for once. I know I haven't said this, but Newt, he's just been flying around, hasn't he? Just following.
Yeah, just trailing. Yeah,
just making sure he's there. Because my second plan there was win the goldfish, enter the goldfish, in the animal competition.
Sure. Oh, I will also say, if you'd like to take the time to summon him, you could also enter Abba in the animal show.
Can I enter me?
No.
Damn.
You're sapient and sentient.
But now
what if I remove memories?
Oh. Pretend.
Since you're doing something specific, Samura will save you for last. But Anya, you kind of go. Are you just kind of gonna wander? This is not, you've lived in Waterdeep. You're 21, nearly 22. Like next month, you will be 22, and Samura will be 5. Big up. In fact, you didn't even miss the last one because you've only been gone a few months. So, you've been to, obviously some of them you can't remember, but you've been to upwards of 20 you've been through 20 Joaquin tides, and you've been to plenty of guilds meets, so you know them quite well. Do you want to wander off on your own, or do you want to go with someone, hang out with anyone in particular, and is there anything in particular you're looking for, or what's the vibe? What would you like to do?
I'm gonna go off on my own. No, there's nothing really specific that I'm looking for. I just want to have a look around.
Yeah, so you see plenty of places, lots of food vendors, street food, lots of you see a lot of the events that you imagine Eartha will be wanting to enter. You see, you see people setting off the fireworks that you've seen while approaching and that are still going off all around you. Again, mostly blues and golds, but a healthy mix of some greens and reds and purples and other such colours mixed in there as well to keep it fresh. You kind of get hit by the smells of all these. It's nice to be home, and it's a very you've been away from home for a while, and to come back at this time in particular, it's like living away from where you grew up and coming back at Christmas. It's a very, although it's not quite Christmas, it's a big event, kind of like Easter, I guess, or like Halloween, like a big outdoor event, and it's very nostalgic for Anya to be back in this environment at this time. So you can grab some food, you can kind of watch the others from afar and just spend some time by yourself. Yeah?
Can I make some sort of maybe a perception check to see if there's some kind of stall or booth that's kind of got a psychic or a
Sure.
someone who can fortune tell or something?
Sure. Make a perception check with advantage.
Okay.
Are they the ones?
Vistani?
That's the ones. The ones in Curse of Strahd. Maybe here.
Of the Vistani specifically here.
One of them or something like that.
Eartha, you can also make a perception check if you'd like with advantage.
No, I was just curious.
No worries. What did you get, Anya?
14.
14. Just like Eartha had said, you recognize some of the architecture, some of the design elements of a large wagon that is parked up, surrounded by people, and you see some colourfully dressed and familiar-looking individuals kind of lousing around, kind of in their dark purples and reds. You recognize them as Vistani travellers that you'd met at the market in Waterdeep, and you see above on the side, some advertising. You see you probably hear some of the Vistani kind of shouting "Have your fortune read by Madame Eva," which you recognize as the elderly Vistani woman who had done your card readings formerly in Baldur's Gate for each of you. So you can choose to see. She doesn't just card readings are one of the things she does, but she probably does the whole shebang. Palm readings, crystal balls, all of that. In fact, she does crystal balls because you delivered one to her from Rivelin. So she does other things as well. You can pop in there if you like, or you can find a different one. If you reckon there's probably, to varying degrees, probably some charlatans lingering around, but you reckon there's probably some real diviners in the crowd. So you can have a look for a different one, or you can go and see Madame Eva again if you'd like.
Go see Madame Eva.
Cool. So we'll cut back to you in a sec. Think about anything in particular. if there's any direction you want to lead it in. So Samura, you said you wanted to go on a date. What would you like to do?
He has to ask first, doesn't he?
Yes.
I guess that's true.
No.
Just blatant rejection. Oh yeah, I'll turn to her and I'll just say, Vicky, do you want to go get some, see if there's any, like, Chilton food?
I doubt it, but we could get some other food.
And just...
I
just want
just in the back of my head, I was really considering making you make a persuasion check, but then I was like, that's me.
Just see if there's any, like, sushi-esque food, like raw fish food, or out like that. What bird, Ellis? There's no need to look like that.
I just
currently have Hero's Feast in my hand, so I'll give it a quick glance to see if there's any canonical food.
Because I didn't think Chult would have been like a sushi kind of place.
Well, I think it'll be birds eating raw fish type of place. I thought sushi's close.
Yeah, fair enough. Could just said salmon.
So
you're
looking for specifically kind of a raw fish kind of thing?
Yeah, or if there is any sort of like Chilton thing, which they would maybe do, but I just doubt it.
So make a perception check with disadvantage or an investigation check normal.
Investigation normal then. That's a 22.
22. Okay. I'm gonna say yeah, I'm gonna say there are a lot of options. A lot of things are you have to look for a while to get past like sweet foods. You see a lot of like candied apples, Troll-Tide candied apples, spiced potatoes, things like that. But you do eventually find there is a stall that's been set up, kind of like a food truck, kind of like a ye old food truck, and you can see the individual inside the truck serving food is of Eastern descent, is from probably the Far East, Karator, and you can see he has things like Karator and noodles and things like that. So you think in terms of like sushi-esque things, that's probably going to be your best bet. But if not, you know, like the noodles and things like that and other Eastern foods are going to be served there.
Yeah, we'll go there then, and we'll see if we can get any sort of raw fishy.
Cool. So we'll cut back to that. Eartha, what would you like to do?
Start with the axe throwing.
Axe throwing, sure.
Start off from my weakest.
You see, there is a kind of light, kind of like a light auburn, like a warm, soft brown-skinned elven woman with kind of plaited black hair, with some kind of like white. Looks like almost like face paint or like a not permanent like tattoo kind of thing. Who's kind of axe throwing. See if you can beat the target and win. And she's kind of motioning at the goldfish. You can see there are like there appears to be 5 left, 5 individual goldfish swimming in 5 individual bowls. They don't all look exactly the same, but you know they're goldfish, varying sizes, but they're goldfish. Yeah, so you walk up to her and she's like, are you here for the axe throwing, sir?
Yes.
It is 3 gold pieces and you get 3 axes. If you hit the target all 3 times, you win the goldfish.
Doable, right? Okay, I'll pay that.
She takes 3 gold pieces from you and she hands you 3 throwing axes. So you can see there's kind of like a netted off kind of hallway. There's like this column set up with net in between them and a hardwood back. you can see there is a kind of just a pretty standard throwing dummy, with like little sticks coming out for arms and on a pole. So to be specific, you have to land at least one headshot and 2 body shots to win the goldfish. If you land 3 body shots, doesn't count. If you land all headshots, does count.
How many goldfish do I win for that?
Say again?
How many goldfish do I win for 3 headshots?
Do you want to ask her that?
No. Don't be overconfident.
Okay. Sure. So, to win... well, actually, we'll do it as we go. So, if you would like to make an attack roll, I'll say it's just plus your... Are you proficient with hand axes?
Are they a simple or martial weapon?
Let me check. I imagine, because I think that covers everything.
I know I've got one in my bag of holding.
I'm pretty sure every weapon is either a simple throwing or melee or a martial. It is a simple weapon. Simple melee weapon.
Yes, I am proficient with it.
So make an attack roll to hit with a throwing axe. A hand axe.
It's a throwing weapon, isn't it? So I'd use dexterity rather than strength.
Yes.
Shit.
So dexterity and your proficiency bonus.
Yeah, I know, but even then. It's 18.
18.
Yeah.
Right in the center of the chest.
Got to roll a natural 20 on it for a headshot.
Unnatural 20 and above.
Well, there's another 18. It's just fucking cursed.
Right in the same spot, the two splintering into each other. She goes, oh, this is very tense. You're doing very well.
Is it possible for you to hit a 20?
Yeah, I don't have a minus.
Okay.
But I'm going to use inspiration.
Okay.
Okay.
21.
You kind of like, she throws, and you throw, and she kind of thinks it's going off target, and she kind of cringes for a second, and it kind of, kind of floating along the wind, cutting through it, sticks in the target's face, and she, you are the 4th winner tonight. Very well done, sir. And she kind of motions at the goldfish. Which one would you like?
Can I just say I rolled 2 15s and an 18, so I'm pretty happy with that.
Sure. Good roll.
I don't have a plus dexterity, so it's even better.
That is very good.
I also have a plan for this, so I want to point out the biggest goldfish.
Okay, yeah. Do you have any... I'll let you kind of customize. Do you want it to be all gold? Do you want like gold and white or like gold and black? What would you like?
All gold.
All gold. Yep, you see a pretty large one. Probably like a bit smaller than the palm of your hand. Maybe like a 6 or 7-year-old one. Probably not that. Maybe like a 4-year-old one. Kind of just limply like swimming around in his bowl. It's a fairly big bowl. It's not small. It's quite large. Like it's almost like a glass cauldron, like smaller than a small cauldron. But you'd have to kind of carry it like that.
I will call you Sushi.
Great. Wonderful.
Jackson knows where this is going.
I think we all do. She kind of goes like, "Oh, okay. Would you like to try again, or are you happy with your winnings?"
I'm happy, thank you.
She kind of leans in and she's like, "You could go double or nothing, and perhaps if you land one more headshot, you win your money back."
Nah, I'm alright. Don't need it.
Very well. Have a good night.
You too. And I'll
Enjoy Guildsmeet.
And I'll wander off to the next place.
Sure. Would you like to do any of the other events?
Yeah, I want to do all but the piggyback one.
Okay. Again, you can do the piggyback race if you like.
I know, but I'll wait and see. I don't really need to.
Okay.
Biden this time.
Yes.
Okay. We'll cut back over to Anya. So, Anya, you see Madame Eva's travelling carriage. now in Waterdeep when you'd last seen her in Baldur's Gate. Are you heading over?
Yes.
As you approach, one of the Vistani kind of like leans in to block your entrance, and he's like, "That will be 2 gold pieces, miss."
I'll just take them out of my pocket or wherever they are and put them in the palm of his hand.
Takes them. "Enjoy your reading," and puts them in a coffer, and watches you go in. So as you go in, you see Madame Eva, this kind of very shriveled old woman in these dark purples with hints of lighter purple, and some very hints of blacks and whites and reds. She has this big purple shawl over her very wrinkly face, and like stark white with little streaks of grey hair kind of tucked behind. You see she's just kind of sitting behind a small table with the crystal ball on top and her deck of tarot cards, Taroka cards technically, and she's kind of sitting behind the table with her eyes closed, just kind of like hands hovering above the crystal ball, and she says, "Your return." She opens her eyes to look.
I'll just say, hello, Madame Eva, lovely to see you again.
"Yes, please sit. Why have you come, girl?"
To be honest, I don't know.
He kind of reaches out to the Taroka cards. "I have already read your fates with the cards. Perhaps I can read your palm or your face or in the crystal ball. What are you looking for?"
I would like to know what lies ahead for me and my friends.
She kind of leans back and like her hands again begin to hover over the crystal ball. "Well, that is a job for the crystals." She kind of begins to move her hands around it very slowly at first and kind of briefly speeding up before slowing down again. And her eyes kind of suddenly jolt open, and they are just stark white. There is almost light emitting from them, like they are so brightly white. And like for a moment, she closes her eyes again, and you can see the light coming from her eyes is so strong. It's like when you shine a torch through skin. You can see her veins and ligature in her eyelids being lit up before they flicker open again. And she stares straight into the ball. Now her hands have stopped moving; they just linger in place. And she kind of looks directly at you and like down again, motioning for you to follow her eyes towards the crystal ball. And she begins to try and show you. The crystal ball itself, it kind of looks as though it has like a frozen cloud within it, like it's fogged glass. And as she kind of moves her hands one more time and again, the clouds begin to part as she kind of projects what she sees into the ball. You see you asked what lies ahead, yeah? You see two... I'm forgetting the word. I think there is a specific word. 2 newborns wrapped in, you know, like the specific blanket you wrap a newborn baby in. You see 2 newborn babies being held by a woman. You can't make out really any detail about the woman, but you can see, and you can't make out any detail about the babies, really. You can see they are crying quite hysterically, although you can't hear it. You just have the image that the ball is showing you, that the crystals show. Madame Eva kind of says, "I will try to take us deeper." And she kind of pushes her hands closer into the crystal ball, and the image kind of like shakes and kind of tries to pull out before being shunted back towards the babies. Fate is lingering on the children. I cannot fight fate when it is this strong. And she kind of decides to push further in. Instead of trying to move away from the children, she pushes in on them. They are different. They are twins, but they are so unlike. Polar opposites of each other, I see. Although I cannot make out in what way. Make a perception check, Anya.
18.
18?
17.
17. You can see they are kind of moving. You can kind of see, if they weren't like wrapped up so tightly in these like shawls, you get the sense, they'd be kicking and screaming and crying. And you've maybe seen newborns before. You've maybe just living in this kind of like this world. You've maybe seen childbirth happen. You've maybe assisted in members of your extended family and so on and so on, in the city or with friends and relatives and whatever. They seem to be crying more ferociously than any newborns you've seen before or heard of doing so. Madam Eva repeats, Fate lingers on the children. It does not want to show you too much, but it wants to make sure you have seen them. I do not know how much I can show. And she begins to move her hands again, and the clouds begin to refog the crystal ball. I am sorry, it was inspecific, less specific than I would have liked. But that is all I can show you, my dear girl. I hope it helps.
Thank you for your time.
Anytime you are here, my girl. And she kind of gestures to the door, but she says, go where? Is there anything else you'd like to do, Anya, or are you happy with that?
No.
Cool. Samura, so you are at this vendor of Karator noodles. Are you just kind of going up and show me? So this is kind of a man of Eastern descent, Karatoran descent, long black hair, kind of the long black hair down the sides, and kind of a top knot on the top portion of his hair. Wearing kind of like blue traveler's attire. And you see he's very quickly cooking up bowls of things and serving them out to people. And there are people kind of lingering around, some with chopsticks, some just kind of like pouring. And you see for some, people are kind of lingering around with kind of these bowls that he's giving out, and others he's putting into more like takeout containers that they can take away with them. You see he kind of like pours one, he kind of swirls some in one bowl and kind of slurps it out into this takeout container, and he folds it out and shoves 2 chopsticks in the front, and he hands it to this halfling woman who kind of jumps up and grabs it, and she says, "Thank you, sir," and she heads off. What would you like to do?
I'll just walk up and I'll just ask her, do you serve any raw fish?
If you want raw fish, I can give you raw fish.
I'll turn to Icky and say, any particular kind?
And she kind of like very timidly at first, but then kind of a bit more brashly once she comes into the light of the wagon, kind of steps up. When we were in Luskin, we had knucklehead trout from Icewind Dale. Yes, I can fetch you knucklehead trout. It'll be, and he kind of looks up at the sky. 5 minutes. Come back in 5 minutes, okay? And he kind of turns around, and you see him kind of reach under, and he slams a fish, and he starts chopping it up, while one of his assistants begins frying up the noodles beside him. Yeah, what would you like to do?
Is there like places to sit, like tables, or is it just like people just like sat like against walls?
There are kind of like
that.
You can see this place seems to have like 2 dedicated picnic benches. Both of them have people sitting on it. One of them is full. The other just has like one lady sitting in the corner, but like it's mostly free. Like you could just sit on the other end.
Yeah, I'll just go sit down on that with Vicky, and I'll just stop talking to her. just about like
Sure.
our adventures and like going into more detail about what like either one of us has done.
Sure. You really thought destroying the cart would help you? Just
Look, if I can tell him any lies very quickly, all I tried to do, I never hit the cart, I never damaged the cart. All I did was spook the horses so we could gain some speed. It's not my fault if I couldn't just control them.
You never,
we'll cut there before Ellis has a panic attack.
you never damaged the car. I swear I spent like a day fixing it.
I never directly damaged it. It wouldn't have been damaged if you just controlled the horses.
Arthur, what game would you like to do next? So you've got piggyback racing, drinking contest, animal show, archery. Okay. You can see a human man is kind of very similarly calling out to people. Archery, test your skills. Magic items up for grabs. And as you kind of approach, he's like, "You sir, you look like you're a keen shot."
Prefer a sword, but I can give it a good go.
A silver, 2 gold pieces, I'm afraid.
Not a problem.
He kind of reaches out his hand, kind of wiggling his fingers.
Alright, I'll give him the 2 gold pieces and I go, right, come on, Sushi, we got this. Just place him somewhere.
He'll oh, please put your fish in. He kind of like moves some of the stuff. He kind of tucks, like the bundles of unbreakable arrows are kind of on like this thin cloth, and he kind of just pulls it a bit so there's room on the table, so you can put Sushi and their bowl on the. Would you like Sushi to be a girl or a boy?
Unidentified.
Cool.
I'll lay them.
Non-binary.
You put
It's a fish.
they. I mean, to be fair, very difficult to find out what gender a fish is. So you put them on the. I guess Sushi is a unisex name if you think about it.
It's a fish.
Sure. I don't like that you're trying not to get attached. So, yeah, you make some room and you put Sushi and the bowl on this table. And yeah, so he gives you a bundle of 5 normal arrows and a training bow. Kind of similar setup, but one of the more standard round training targets made of straw. Okay, so you want to get at least all targets have to hit the target. All arrows have to hit the target, but you got to get at least 1 bullseye. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Very good.
Can do that. So I've got 5
And-
shots.
You get your money back if you split an arrow.
If I split an arrow. Does it have to be the one in the center, or can it be any arrow?
Any arrow.
Right.
Tell you what, if you can split the one in the center, I'll give you 2 gold pieces on top.
2 gold pieces on top. Alright, give it a go. It's gonna be a terrible idea.
Good luck.
Yeah. How many observation I used before? I used 2, didn't I?
Yes, I think so.
I still have 8, it's alright. I still haven't added on the ones I got from like the last couple of sessions, so
Who needs inspiration for boss battles?
plenty of time.
I've got none.
18. I swear this
18.
place is cursed with like the 15s.
Nearly in the center, not quite.
Still a target though. I rolled just a straight 15.
15.
Don't like that one.
Kind of further, not quite on the edge, but like on the outer rim.
18.
18. You split the arrow just off from the edge, and he kind of slaps. You're the first person that's done that all night.
Wasn't meant to happen, that one. Oopsie. 20. Not natural,
20.
just straight 20.
Right on the bullseye.
One more 20 and you've got the double split.
Wish me luck. Would you believe me if I said I rolled a 17? plus a 3, which is 20 again.
3. We can.
Do you want me to
There's not that many options.
Do you want me to move my camera?
He didn't say he'd pay you twice, so.
I know.
So you split another arrow, and he kind of claps and jumps back. Oh, you're a much better shot than I took you for. I suppose I owe you some arrows and some gold.
Just
and he
the
kind
arrows
of.
will do.
An altruist. And he kind of picks up a bundle of 5 unbreakable arrows and hands them to you. Tell your friends if they want to shoot some arrows, you know where to find me. Don't forget your fish. He kind of picks up the bowl, hands it to you.
Alright, thank you. I won't forget my fish. Alright. Come on, Sushi.
Have a good night.
On to the next one. Yeah, thank you. I'm running out of places in the bag of holding for this stuff.
Just dumping the fucking fishbowl upside down into the back.
No. Sushi's not going in there. The unbreakable arrows.
Samura. Well, what else? What else would you like to do? So you all, we'll say by now, you've had some light conversation with Icky, and you hear the gentleman from the wagon call out, "Knucklehead trout on noodles."
I'll jump up, walk over, and just go. Oh yes, sir. That's us. Thank you. I'll hand him however much it costs.
First, he's like, "Are you sitting in or taking out?"
Taking out.
Taking out, and he kind of swishes them into 2 takeout containers and bangs two sets of a set of chopsticks onto each and pushes them forward. That's 5 silver pieces.
I'll just throw him a gold.
Very kind, sir. Have a good night.
And then I think archery. I'll turn to Icky and go, I mean, they have archery. You could impress me like you used to.
I'm a little bit out of practice, but I'm still much better than you. So, yes, we could try.
We'll go. And I think we'll both compete.
Sure. Yeah, you guys can give archery a go. So just the same process. The guy advertises his unbreakable arrows. Hand over 2 gold pieces for yourself, Samura. Would you like to pay for Icky?
I'll pay for Icky. I'll pay for Icky for like all of it.
Do I
4
give you
gold
pocket
pieces.
change?
I have 250 gold off the time I did gambling.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I was making sure I gave you the money.
I gave you double what you'd given me and kept that for myself, or something along them lines.
So I guess we'll roll initiative to see who goes first.
15.
15. Icky did much worse. So you go first. So I do think, however, you are not proficient with a bow.
Daggers, darts, slings, quarterstaffs, and light armor.
So I believe that means you don't add your proficiency bonus?
Oh, is it just no
Just straight
proficiency?
dexterity.
Cool.
Yeah, so make a dexterity roll.
Watch this! 7.
Goes flying to it nearly goes over the wall behind and out into the crowd, but it just like ding sticks into the top of the backing wall, and the guy goes like, oh okay. You're gonna want to aim a little bit lower.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Quite alright. Icky will take a shot. Okay. Icky got 18 total. Right near the bullseye. Your turn.
21.
21. Bullseye. Icky like looks like kind of narrows her eyes and kind of cricks her neck. She's gonna use her ability. Natural 20. I'm not even kidding. Splits your arrow, and she kind of looks back at you. Don't get ahead of yourself, Sammy.
I'll pull up my bow again. 17.
17. Right next to that previous arrow she'd hit. 16. A little bit further on the outside.
18. Oh no. Since it's a little bit closer, I'll turn and go. It's not ahead of myself if I'm winning.
You're not, though.
Shut up,
Yeah,
Alice. Shut up.
she knocks another arrow and she says, "You don't win anything if you miss once." And she does another one. 18 again. I think yeah, last one.
13.
Right on the edge, like right on the edge of the target. Kind of goes under the hay somehow. 13 as well. So she kind of hits just next to yours, and she does like a little polite curtsy, and she looks back at the guy. "I will take my arrows now." And the guy's like, "Oh, yeah, yes, of course, you've earned them. I'm getting cleared out tonight." And he kind of is back. He kind of, you notice he's kind of straightening out the table. It looks like he's moved everything to fit like a fishbowl on here. And he straightens everything back out. And he hands her a bundle of the 5 unbreakable arrows. And she says, she like just snatches them and goes to walk away. And she kind of like skids and goes, "Thank you," and begins to walk off. Where would you like to go next?
As we start walking away, I'll go, "Hey, you know, if you were allowed to play a second round, I think I would have had you."
I'm not very into wasting my own time. There's a cat. Anya's entering the animal show.
Sorry.
That's alright.
Come on. Don't make it. Come on. Come on. Oh my god.
Animal friendly D&D.
You silly Billy.
That's
Sorry.
No, that's alright.
Sorry about that, guys.
That's okay. Would you like to try any of the other games, or are you sick of losing?
Why don't we work together for once? We could do the piggyback, right?
Let me... What's your strength, Samurai?
Mine's 11, so I believe I'll be on top.
Yeah, she's 12.
No.
I suppose I can carry you.
Can you repeat the exact rules?
So the person with the higher strength has to be the carrier. The person carrying makes a strength check, and the person riding makes a dexterity check. And if the person I think I'm going to say saving throws. No, give me a second to think about that. And as long as the combined total is above 30, you win the prize.
Can we get advantage? Because, you know, wings and shit. Or can the person on top get advantage? Because it's going to be hard for them to fall off with wings.
Hollow bones, they're quite light.
Yeah, I'm going to say no.
Yeah. Alright, well, I'm down to do it still.
She kind of like goes down on one knee and kind of like turns to her back and she says, "Come on then."
I'll jump on. Remember, we've got to be fast.
She kind of stands up very quickly and she kind of like bounces you a few times and she says, "Oh, you've gotten even scrawnier than Chuck." And she, and the guy says, "Yo, you're ready to go, I see. Okay, well, boots of speed up for grabs. You've just got to make it to the other marker in less than 5 seconds. In less than 10 seconds. And you can see the marker is about like 25-30 meters away. So it's fairly possible. It's really just about how well you work together. So are you ready to make a dexterity check? I'm going to say check.
Yes, and my check and saving throw is the exact same. Doesn't matter to me.
That's not a good sign.
7.
Well, she got 13. So you got 20.
20.
So you get about halfway there, and he goes like, "Oh, you're out of time, I'm afraid." And then, completely contradicting herself, Icky goes, You've gotten fat. And she kind of pushes you off. And she's like, would you like to try again, or do you think it is impossible?
I think we have a good chance.
Okay, so mark off the first gold, sorry. So it's for 2 rounds, it'll be 2 gold pieces. So make another dexterity check.
16.
16. Okay. Oh, she rolled really low. She got 4 total, so 20 total again.
Cool.
You get to the exact same place, and she's like, you're not balancing right. You're putting too much weight on my back. I cannot run when your claws are digging into my back.
I'll jump off. I'm sorry. I'll tell the dude. Are we allowed to use our wings?
Don't know how that would help you, so sure.
Right. One more go, please.
Sure.
When we get to the starting line, I'll turn to Icky and I'll go, I'm going to try and propel myself up and forwards at the same time so you can just run and have less weight on your back.
Sure. I'll say you can roll with advantage.
Okay.
Rolls a 2 is his highest score.
I got 2 13s, so it's 17 total.
She got 10 total, so it's
Still not enough.
27 total. You get right near the finish line, and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, you're out of time again." And she just kind of like, as you kind of hop down, she goes, "That one was my fault."
Again.
Another goal. Again with advantage. Okay.
15.
She got 19 total.
Yeah.
So, cutting in with 34, you score across the finish line, and you hear the guy clapping and hollering, "Oh, you've done it! 4th time is the charm," is what I always say. And she's like, "Yes. Oh, I do not think the boots will fit our talents." Oh, well.
That's fine. We have plenty of friends to give them to. And I'll put my hands out for the boots.
As he kind of hands them out, he's like, "No, miss, they're magical. They'll fit to whatever you've got." And she's like, "Oh, thank you." And she kind of brushes your shoulder as she begins walking away. What should we do?
What do the boots do exactly? Now
they are boots of speed. Boots of speed. While you wear these boots, you can use a bonus action and click the boots' heels together. If you do, the boots double your walking speed, and any creature that makes an opportunity attack against you has disadvantage on the attack roll. If you click your heels together again, you end the effect. When the boots property has been used for a total of 10 minutes, the magic ceases to function until you finish a long rest. Requires attunement.
Right. I'll hand them to Icky. And I'll go, well, you did most of the work.
She kind of pulls them in. Thank you.
What do you want to do?
Are you going to enter ABBA in the animal show?
I was thinking about it, but I didn't know if it was worth it. Because, maybe I don't have to enter him as a frog. I could enter him as an owl or a lizard, or I don't know.
Do you want to say, like, you've summoned ABBA by now?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. She kind of kind of scritches ABBA on like the head, I imagine, on your shoulder. I like him as a frog.
He'll just jump over onto her shoulder and I'll say like, I guess I'll enter him as a frog then. And I'll look and go over and enter him.
Sure. Eartha, what would you like to do?
There's only 2 competitions left, right?
Yes, there is the animal show and the drinking contest.
You could do the running one still.
Nah, I want to do the drinking contest, but I don't know whether to do it before the animal show or after the animal show. What do I have to do to win the drinking contest? Do I have to outdrink someone?
If you go up and ask, you can see they have. It's like a 2-person thing. There are multiple people going up, and it's 2 people trying to outdrink each other.
Oh, easy. That sounds fun.
Suppose you don't really have to take part in the animal show, so like your animal's doing the work. So
yeah, you can just chuck your bird over there and say, like, "I'll be back in 10 minutes," like leaving him at preschool. So you'd like to do the drinking contest?
I'll do that first. I feel like I'm either gonna get really smashed or I'll be alright.
All I'm saying is there's 6 of it, and Ellis hasn't took the big, like, strong woman with them to the drinking contest.
No, there's a good reason for that. I want to
Scared you'll
win.
lose.
Exactly. I'm only 5'10" here, Jackson. I'm a small bloke compared to her.
Fair enough.
It's just checking something.
Plus, I feel like it's going to be all Constitution saving throws and things like that, and she's going to probably have a high Constitution.
Probably.
So, the tiefling operating the drinking contest kind of ushers you to a seat, and he's like, "Who will go?" Actually, it's 4 gold pieces to enter the drinking contest because you are drinking a lot of booze that they've procured.
Fine.
So he kind of beckons out, "Who will go against this?" And he kind of gestures at you. What's your name?
Eartha.
Who will try and outdrink Eartha, the knight? And you see a hooded individual approaches, and she says, "I'll give it a go."
Oh, I don't.
And she sits opposite you. And you are Miss Grace. Miss Grace. Okay, 4 gold pieces. She hands him a platinum, and he, thank you very much, Miss. Yes, thank you. And he tucks it, and he begins slapping them down the table. Eartha, you recognize this as the Black Staff of Waterdeep, who you'd met in the tap room of the Yawning Portal.
I think I might lose.
Are you both ready?
Yeah.
Begin. And he begins sliding. He begins sliding full tankards towards you. I'm gonna say we're gonna make what's Eartha's constitution?
15.
15. So Vajra's is
So much higher than mine.
Vajra's constitution is 12. So I'm gonna say, so she has a +1. I'm gonna say let's make 3 competing constitution checks.
Right.
Actually, constitution checks. Okay?
Just check.
So we'll go one by one. So her first is 11.
12.
12. Her second is a natural 1 +1, so
17.
17. And her
No,
third
18.
is
My bad. I can't do math.
and her third is 15 total.
That one is 12 again.
Well, okay. So you guys are slamming down tankards, and you can see when you'd met her in the Yawning Portal, she was turning the Shadow Dark Ale into wine. Obviously, she's not doing. You don't think she's cheating. I mean, you can check if you like, but you don't get the sense that she's cheating. But you get the sense she's not much for ale. She's not a big fan, and you can see after about 4 or 5, she's really getting you can see she has a migraine, and she's trying to just power through it. Even though she's got this big hood that's draping her face, you can see her mouth move in a weird way, she's checking her jaw, she's trying to get the taste out of her mouth. And about halfway through her 6th, she just kind of stops, and she's like, "Okay, I'm done. I I can't drink it anymore. So Eartha, you win a a tankard of sobriety. He kind of drifts it across to you. So it's a wondrous magic item, and he says, he tells you in brief what it does, that you can drink as much from it as you like, and you will never get inebriated. And Vajra kind of puts a hand out to shake your hand. Very well played, Mr. Separate. Did you shake her hand?
Yeah, sorry, I was typing up before I forgot.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, shake it. I went, it's good to see you again. We can do this again at the wedding if you want.
I didn't realise I was invited.
I thought you said you were going to go.
I was planning on asking, but I hadn't done that since an hour ago.
It's only been an hour?
Yeah, man.
Holy shit. So much happened within an hour.
Yeah.
I've now got sushi. Just pointing at my face.
Is that yours?
Yeah.
It seems you've had a very successful evening.
I haven't lost yet. And all I gotta do is the animal contest, which I feel like I might lose, but might as well give it a go.
Are you entering sushi?
No. I meant Renew.
Who's that?
No,
Is that your friend with the...
No. I'll look up, see if I can spot him. If I don't, I'll just whistle anyway. Kind of like put my arm out, ready for him.
You don't immediately see him, but you whistle, and when you stick out your arm after a few moments, Newt lands on your arm, and she kind of bumps back a bit. Oh, Bloodhawk. Very fitting, I suppose.
I thought it might be.
All in the family, eh? Well, I hope your evening continues to be successful. And she kind of begins to get up.
You too, and I'll get up and start heading over towards the animal booth.
Yeah, and maybe I'll see you at the wedding.
Hopefully.
Samura, is there anything else you'd like to do, or are you heading towards the animal show?
It was just towards the animal booth.
Cool. As you kind of get over there, you see Eartha, and you hear someone call out, Samura? And then, like, as you turn around, you see this 2-3 foot tall, charcoal-skinned, white-haired rock gnome, who you recognize as Captain Automay Swift and Dark, the captain of the ship that had sailed you to Baldur's Gate. And you see she's pointing at Eartha, and she says, "Is this your dad?"
He may as well be.
That's it. And she kind of puts one of her hands up towards you, Eartha. It's nice to meet you.
I'm not his dad. Nice to meet you too.
Well, he said you might as well be. So, well, I'm glad you found your dad, Samura. What are you doing in Waterdeep?
Long story short, found the real dad outside of Suzail. Dealt with that. Yeah, he's not so bad after all. Then back here, Anya's. I think, yeah. Remember in the tavern, there's the fight and the bard?
I see a lot of bards in a lot of taverns.
Well, the only one I was there.
Oh, she was that one that helped you torture that fellow. I remember.
Yeah.
Oh, I do it! And she kind of like clicks and she's like, I do remember. You also tortured that fellow. I remember now. Hey.
Her family lives here. She goes to the college. So we're just back here for her business.
Well, I'm glad you made friends, Samura. Tell the truth, I was worried you wouldn't. You were very strange on the ship. I didn't think you were the sociable type.
He's not.
Oh. Strange.
Maybe not made best friends then. Well, I better go find my crew before they drink themselves into trouble, but it was nice seeing you again. Good luck with whatever you're doing.
Can I just say, I'm saying all this, I'm just hugging a goldfish ball, alright?
Yes. Yeah. And she says, remember, if you ever need that favour, we're here for you. We really appreciate you. You're part of the family. and she heads off, giving you a nod and a wave.
Yeah, I guess I'll turn to Urfalin since he's here. Has he got the hawk still down? Or is the
Not
hawk
yet.
in the air again?
He's back in the air.
Yeah. What are you doing here? Ready to watch me enter Abba?
No, I'm entering as well, buddy.
What you gonna enter? A goldfish?
Sushi. And no, I'm entering nude.
I like sushi.
So do I. It's quite cool, isn't it?
I'll lick my lips.
You don't have lips. You have a beak.
No, I'll lick my
Incredibly
beak.
disturbing, imagining the edge of his beak has lips.
I guess a bloodhawk is a decent entry. It'll be nice to know that it's a friend in second place. Pat him on the back as I go to enter. So, Jane, fucking Abba.
Just put two thorns on the helmet.
Cool. So you see already up for the animal show, there is a farmer's pig, a not quite noble woman, but a wealthy woman's peacock, and another goldfish in a very similar bowl who you think who might have been won from. In fact, there's probably a few goldfish that have been won from who people have been like, oh fucking hell, this is the animal show. So it's pretty sick. The animal show has 2 rounds. The first round is getting them to do a trick, which I think the goldfish people are going to struggle with. And the second is like an appearance round, like a runway round. So where the owner can walk with their animal and show them off. So that'll probably come before, and then they'll try and show a trick. So entry is free. And whoever wins at the end of the night gets the plush Displacer Beast. So it's huge as well. It's like, when you want to win one of those giant teddy bears, and then you're like, oh fuck, what am I going to do with this? Not even just like, how am I going to carry this the rest of the night, but also where am I going to put it? It's like that big. It's huge.
I have a place to put it. I'm alright.
Sure. Okay.
I have a holding.
Sorry, I forgot you had an extra dimensional space. So we'll do alphabetical first. So Samura, would you like to do anything to the appearance of Abba, or are you leaving him as this yellow spotted frog? And are you doing anything else? Or
I've got an idea. I'm gonna grab. Yeah, right. I'm gonna grab a tiny bell and a piece of fine silver wire out of my components bag for my alarm spell. And I'm going to tie it as if it's a necklace around Abba's neck.
Okay.
And then I'm going bell. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. As if like the bell's in like the same position as like a bow tie.
Okay.
Little bell boy sort of.
Speaking of that, you do notice the pig is wearing a bow tie. So stiff competition.
And then I would ask Icky, do you want to do the runway with Abba?
You don't want to do it?
Look at me and look at you. You're
very colourful.
Look at me and look at you. You're much more likely to dazzle the crowd.
Yeah.
So basically, I'll just say
is Samura lying or is Samura not lying?
Samura's telling the truth. Samura very much likes Icky.
Okay, then make a persuasion check with advantage if you want Icky to do the runway.
Out of curiosity, are there ulterior motives such as looking through Abba's eyes and controlling Abba that are coming?
22.
What, so can Zappa?
Look. I just have to shocking grasp Icky. Why would I do that?
You can do more with Abba, and I know you can.
Look, I can control them off my thoughts. I don't have to look through the eyes. I can just be in the crowd.
So, sorry, what was your persuasion?
22.
22. You're sure you don't want to go up with Abba?
I'm okay. I think you should enjoy it.
Okay. What? Okay. Very well. She kind of straightens her back. You get the sense she might be blushing if she wasn't covered in feathers. Because Jackson's a big fairy. So Icky will accompany Abba for the runway section of the animal show. Eartha, would you like to do anything to Newt? Maybe put sushi in his mouth?
No, sushi comes in later.
You do get the set. Newt is eyeballing the shit out of sushi.
Oh, don't worry. I have this all planned out.
He's gonna throw sushi halfway through the show.
Well, I'm not doing that anymore, because Jackson just figured it out. I'm going to have to surprise you another way.
You would have lost so hard if you'd done that.
So,
No,
would you like to do anything?
Just make sure Newt's, like, not, like, puffy, just kind of, like...
Yeah, you give him a quick scrape, make sure all his feathers have got a nice sheen to them, and Newt kind of, like, fluffs out a bit, and shakes its wings about. Yeah, so we'll bounce back. Samara, would you like to direct Icky, or do you just want to see what Icky does?
I want to say... I don't want to direct her, but I want to discuss with her what she wants to do for, like, the trick round. Like, the animal does its trick. Because can the trick be, like, in conjunction with the person?
Yes.
Could they do it? Yeah, so I want to, like, try and coordinate a trick for the two of them to do together. And obviously she knows I can control Abba.
Yeah.
So I was thinking something like throwing, as if juggling in the way she's throwing it up, but like she's not actually having to throw anything up multiple times, just something like stone-like in the size, where she can throw one, then throw another, and then throw another, with like delays between each one, so Abba can jump from rock to rock in midair.
Okay, so kind of slower juggling with Abba moving between each rock.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, sure. She'll say, I can try.
If you've got any other ideas, I'm all ears.
I was just going to hold my hand out with him on it, so this is probably better.
Yeah, so we may want to try and put on a bit more of a show than that.
She kind of like brushes some of her feathers, tries to make herself look prim. Yeah.
What you wearing?
What's
Clothes.
Icky wearing?
Yeah.
Like leather armor. Ranger shit.
Can I give her my big purple cloak, so I'm just left in my fancy white shirt and my fancy... I believe I've got white pants, but they may be a different colour.
You've got... It's your mini. You've got purple pants, blue robe. Blue robe with a silver trim.
Yeah, it's
purple
blue robe.
pants.
Yeah, I bought the white shirt in Suzale, that's why.
Yeah. So you can take off your robe and she'll kind of fiddle with the sleeves a bit, but she'll wear it if you want.
Yeah. I'll step away, like as if it's like a designer in New York. Oh, gorgeous! Just like really like over the top there to try and do like the confidence boost of a lifetime. Just because I can tell she's like not the most confident in these sorts of things.
Thank you. And she kind of like does a polite nod, but you get the sense it didn't help. She's still like, oh god, okay. And she's just kind of practicing juggling really slowly and kind of fumbling a bit and then going back and trying again. Eartha, what would you like to do for the trick round? Any preparation required or?
Yeah, I just use a stone. Or a stick. Actually, no, I'll just use a crossbow bolt. That'll be fine.
It's gonna kill his bird for the entertainment.
Nah, don't worry.
Then cool. So we'll start with you guys watch the others go first. This pig in a bow tie is kind of jumps through some hoops on behalf of his farmer owner. This peacock kind of prips and preems with its tail and wings spread out to sea. And then not realizing there was a talent portion, some people just kind of walk around with their fishbowl, kind of like showing it and not sure what to do. one of the people is very lightly trained in magic and like begins to make the fish glow, but it doesn't seem to be wowing the crowd very much. So Icky will go with Abba. She will kind of like hold Abba on the back of her hand on her wrist and kind of show him off to the crowds as he jumps from place to place and then onto her head as she gets the rocks ready and begins to very slowly do the juggling. And Abba moves down and begins to move from rock to rock. I'll say so for the for the appearance portion, I'll have you roll, Samura. I'll have you roll just a straight D20. Okay. And for the talent show, a straight D20 again.
11.
Okay. Eartha, you could take the stage and set the scene for us.
So, I'm gonna have Newt on my arm up to about halfway. Then we get halfway. I'm gonna throw him off and then fly around a bit, fly above the crowd. I'm gonna keep walking out to the end of the stage. When I get to the end of the stage, I'm gonna pull out a crossbow bolt. I'm gonna cast a light on it, make it glow a bright red, and then as it's lit up, I'm gonna whistle for Newt. Hang on, this is going into the trick, but it all is one big thing, right?
Yeah, go into that. Yeah.
Right. So he's gonna.
We'll do them both again.
Yeah. So I'm gonna whistle, and he's gonna notice. I'm gonna throw the stick up. He's gonna grab it, and he's gonna be like a fighter jet flying around with a red light, doing twists and turns.
Very cool. Okay. Roll 2d20s and tell me each one.
I got 2 and a 19.
Okay. You get the sense people aren't wowed when you're like showing him off, but then as he starts doing like tricks and he starts flying about, people you see, especially some younger people, some children, get very excited and like tugging at their parents and pointing and shouting. So I think out of you guys, Abba definitely won the appearance round, but Newt won the talent portion. So I'm gonna say we're gonna all roll initiative. I'm gonna do it for the fish are kind of out of the running, so I'm gonna roll it for the pig and the peacock, and you guys can roll initiative for Newt and Abba, and whoever has the highest initiative wins.
Can I use Newt's initiative?
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, I just need to make sure. I need to find it again. What was it?
I just need a frog's initiative.
There it
I
is.
think they have a +4 dex. I have a funny feeling it's the exact same as mine.
Initiative. Oh, it's just dex, isn't it? Okay.
It has
Okay.
a +1 dex.
Well, Newt has a +2, and if a frog has more dexterity than a bird, I'd be surprised.
14.
Got unnatural 20.
Oh.
I rolled an 18 plus a 2. Which I'm just going to double
And the winner is by a clear margin.
the fucking pig.
Cerulean the pig. And everyone begins to natural 20, I'm afraid.
What?
And you see the farmer gets given the plush displacer beast, and he's like, I don't want it. I don't have anywhere to put it.
Fireball.
You don't have any spells.
And he kind of, I'll say he shouts over to you two, because you two were the runners up. Would either of you like this? I just wanted to enter Cerule, and I don't want the displacer beast. I don't want the toy. It would scare my kids.
Nah, I'm alright. I'll start walking away.
I'll take it off him.
Okay, very good. Thank you, sir. And he hands it over to you, and it's huge. It's like as big as Jade. Like,
Right.
if Jade like wore it, it would be like one of those like lion head like cloaks. Yeah. So, yeah. While
a
that's
good idea.
happening, Anya, could you make a perception check?
Yeah. 10.
10. Yeah, not particularly high. You see Dila, the barbarian. She is currently at a florist's wagon. You see she is bartering with a woman and a man who appear to be florists. They have like a carriage parked up with a bunch of different flowers and things, and she appears to be trying to get a deal on some flowers or something of that kind. You can see her doing that. Would you like to go over, or are you just keeping a distance?
I'll go over.
As you approach, she's like, "Please, I know they are expensive, but I just don't have that much gold, and I really need them. So I will give you everything I have. I really need them, please." And the man is like, "I'm sorry, I'm sure you do. This is a business. I can't give things away. You understand." And she's like, "Perhaps I can kill someone for you. I am very capable at killing." And he's like, I don't need anyone killed. It's not how we do things in Waterdeep, please. I can give them to you for 20 gold pieces. That is, they are flowers. Please. 15 gold pieces. Yeah.
At this point, I'm guessing I'm just kind of stood behind, kind of just eavesdropping.
Yeah, you're just like 5 feet behind, yeah.
I'll just interject and I'll just say, I'll get them for you. And I'll just pay.
She kind of glances back. "You heard the lady, she will buy my flowers." "Very good. Thank you for sorting that, miss." And he takes the gold, and he kind of sets up a bouquet, ties it with a nice ribbon. You can see that they're these very nice, they look maybe like lilies. They're like white petals, very long, lush green stems, but white petals with red on the interior. And these nice little bulbs that poke out. Bouquet of about 6 or 7. And she kind of clutches them. And she's like, "Thank you very much. That was very kind of you."
It's no problem. Who are the flowers for?
"They are for my mother."
Is she okay?
Make an insight check.
Okay. Oh, 8.
8. Yeah, that seems like a pretty reasonable, if someone's getting flowers for someone, something bad might have happened. So, she is fine, but these are her favorite flowers.
I'm sure she'll love them.
I hope so. Make an intelligence check, actually, Anya. Just straight intelligence. I'm going to say 15 or above.
Okay, I'll use one of my inspiration then.
It's not super important. You don't have to if you don't want to.
I'll do it. Why not?
I suppose you have 1,000, so it's okay.
I got 15.
15.
Yeah.
Dila kind of goes, "They are her favorite. Thank you. I really appreciate it." And she kind of pats you on the shoulder, and she begins to walk off. And as she's walking away, you specifically remember when you were probably about 12, 13, you and some of your friends went climbing up the coast side of Mount Waterdeep to pick those flowers. You think you're pretty sure it's the same flowers, and you remember the reason you were doing that is because Alistair had said they were his favorite flowers. So yeah, Anya, you do remember that you'd went on this little expedition yourself, a younger Alistair, a younger Saskia, who the others had met in Suzale, the lady that your brother is now dating. You had went on this little expedition, climbing the cliff side of Mount Waterdeep, not super dangerous, mostly just on the path, but then going slightly off the road, to pick these flowers that grew on the ocean-facing side of the mountain. And yeah, you recognize them as you're pretty sure they're the same flowers, and they are also Alistair's favourite flower. That's why you'd done that. Yeah. So we'll kind of wind down. Is there anything else you guys would like to do? Say to the other group, do with each other, and where are you staying tonight? We'll just kind of bullet point that out, and then we'll wrap up.
Where are we staying tonight? 'Cause I feel like it'd be rude if all of us just intruded on Anya's house again. I think it'll be fine if.
I'm gonna say to Icky. I'm gonna ask Icky if she wants to get a room at the awning portal.
Just you and Icky.
I do not. The awning portal is a very popular establishment, and it is a very popular day. I do not think we will get a room at the awning portal, but
Rejected.
you could try.
I'll just ask if there's anywhere else she thinks will be open. That'll have room.
It will be difficult on such a holiday. I don't know. What were you doing inside the statue before? Maybe we could stay in one of the apartments inside Speron Tower.
No, that's a bit a little too far out of our budget and also trouble. I have somewhere we can go. I have a friend's place we can stay. I'm going.
Just invite all your friends.
I'm not going to your house, Jess. I'm going to the shop.
Oh.
Sorry.
That was my idea. I was just gonna go lie on the floor in the shop.
Well,
The house isn't attached.
I have the key, so.
Yeah, but there isn't like a bed in there. It's just a
Oh.
shop.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm fine with sleeping room.
Also,
have
isn't
a bed.
Anya's house got one spare room because it's Jasper's, which was why I thought it'd be better if you went to it.
I slept downstairs last time. I'll sleep downstairs. I sleep rough. So yeah, I'm literally gonna do what Jackson does, but if I notice them in the same room as me, I'm gonna try find like an empty room and just push myself far away from them. I'll have sushi, I'll have newt, I'll be fine.
I imagine we'll be perched on like a beam, if there is a beam open within the shop.
Cool. Yeah, sure. I'll say something like that. You can find some sort of like exposed, lifted area. Anya, where would you like to stay tonight?
We go to my aunt and uncle's and just meet with the rest of the group in the morning.
Okay. So by the time you guys are like thinking about retiring for the night, it's probably about 10ish, 9ish, 10ish. So yeah, you guys can go crash in Aurora's if you like. I mean, like Eartha, you do know like you probably could stay at Anya's if you like, or would you prefer to stay at Aurora's? Sure.
I say to Aurora's because I don't want to be in that awkward situation where I'm sat downstairs early in the morning, wide awake, and a dad or uncle, whoever, comes down, looks at me, is dead confused, and then leaves. I don't like that awkward situation.
So Anya, you head back to your aunt and uncle's residence in the trades ward, I'm pretty sure. So that's kind of heading back down towards the yawning portal. So also for a little bit of time, you guys will be walking together, and then Eartha, Samura, and Icky will stay at Aurora's Emporium. Salu is kind of just like lingering around. He's just like, you see, he kind of like, he asks Alistair, he's like, would you mind if I stayed at your family's house tonight? And Alistair's like, yeah, sure, you can sleep where you like. And Dealer is like, may I also stay at your family's house? I do not have a house. And he's like, yes, everyone can stay at my house. There's plenty of room. And he's like, Icky, you coming back to mine? And Icky will be like, oh, what? No. I am staying at the closed shop. And Alistair's like, okay, well.
I'll tell Icky and be like, like you can go to like the nice comfy house if you want, like it's not an issue.
I said I was staying at the shop.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
And Alistair's like, cool, well, we'll meet you in the morning. Yeah, be careful. It's a holiday. Don't get robbed.
It's
Go.
alright. Sushi
Come on,
will
guys.
protect me.
Yeah, and they'll peel off as well. And then Anya, you continue on walking alone, and kind of knowing that, you see as they're peeling off, you do see Alistair is carrying the flowers that dealer had bought, but dealer kind of goes. You see her say something to Alistair, and then she kind of catches up behind you, and she's like, "I will walk you back to where you are going, so that you are safe."
Thank you.
So she'll walk back with you to your aunt and uncle's. Yeah, you know your aunt and uncle's schedule pretty well. You know they both get off work around the same time. They don't. Your aunt has more the steady job. Your aunt is a member of the Dung Sweepers Guild. It's not a pretty job, but it has to be done. And your uncle is a local fisherman. He kind of just goes catching local stuff in the harbour, and then he sells it to the Fishmongers Guild. And then they live in the Trades Ward in like a fairly nice establishment. Not super nice, not awful, just like a fairly nice. Yeah, you get there, and you try the door, and it's locked, which, you know, you don't think they'd be a bed yet, but, you know, maybe they've just locked it. But then you notice none of the lights are on, and you're a bit like, oh, well, I don't think they'd be asleep yet. Like, they would usually still be up. They'd usually stay up till like 10 or 11, 10:30, 11. So you're not sure why, but it doesn't seem like they're home. Is everything okay?
Yes, it's just, I don't think they're home.
Do they have another prettier house?
No, this is where they live.
She looks at it.
That is a shame. Oh, we could ask the neighbors.
Yeah, let's do that, yeah.
You can see Dealer marches up to this one house that very clearly just has like a dim bedroom light on, and she just like claps on the door, and you can hear some like and like lights begin to come on as they descend, and this like tall for a gnome but older gnomish gentleman opens a door, like bed cap kind of drooping, and he's like, can I help you? And he kind of looks up at her and he's like, can I help you? And then he kind of glances at you and you recognize, and he's like, hello, Miss Enrampe. Can I help you? Yeah.
I'm so sorry to disturb you at such a time. I was just wondering whether you knew where my aunt and uncle had gone to, because they're not at home.
Oh, silly, lovely. Sorry, I was drifting asleep. I'm not all in my right mind. Your aunt is inside. She's staying in my guest room. Perhaps you should come in and have a cup of tea, and your friend, Dilla, very pretty name. Perhaps you should come in and have some tea, and I will stir your aunt awake and let her know you are here. Please. And he kind of brings you in, and it's kind of beginning to rain a bit now that the fireworks have faded, but the clouds have come in much stronger, and the rain is beginning to hit down on Waterdeep a bit. He kind of closes the door behind you and locks it, and that leads you into the like a dining living room area. And he's like, I'll go rouse your aunt, and she'll explain things to you. Make yourself at home. And he skitters upstairs. Eartha, Samara, is there anything specific you'd like to do or say before we wrap up?
No, it's just kind of go
Cool.
to bed.
Then we'll end